Over the centuries, there have been hundreds, perhaps thousands, of Christian kings. But who was the first? If you said St. Constantine the Great, that's a good guess, but you'd be incorrect. Some think the first was Tiridates III of Armenia, but that's also wrong. What if I told you the first Christian king was an obscure ruler in Upper Mesopotamia named Abgar V of Edessa? The story of this first Christian king is a tremendous epic of faith, miracles, and holy relics that weaves through the tapestry of church history and remains with us today. Let's dive in. In the 1st century AD, the kingdom of Osroene, also known as the kingdom of Edessa after its capital city, was a Parthian client kingdom located along the Euphrates River, bordering Roman Syria. Today, Edessa is the Turkish city of Urfa, located in the southeast of that country, near its border with modern Syria. From 134 BC to AD 242, Osroene was ruled by the Abgarids, a dynasty of Nabatean Arab origin. Not much is known about Abgar's early life, but he was king of Edessa from 4 to 7 BC, and again from AD 13 to 50. Thus he reigned during the earthly ministry of Jesus Christ. According to church historian Eusebius of Caesarea, Abgar once became incurably ill. Hearing of the miraculous healing powers attributed to one Jesus of Nazareth, he wrote a letter to the Lord, likely dictated to his envoy Ananias. Eusebius reports that a copy of this correspondence was still in existence in the Edessan archives, and he reproduces it in his church history as follows. Abgar Uchama to Jesus the Good Savior, who has appeared in the region of Jerusalem. Greeting. The reports about you and your cures have reached me, how they are effected by you without drugs and herbs. For, as the story goes, you make the blind to see, the lame to walk, and you cleanse lepers, and you cast out unclean spirits and demons, and you cure those who are tortured in lingering disease, and you raise the dead. When I heard all this about you, I decided that either one of two things is true. Either that you are God, and having come down from heaven are doing these things, or you are a son of God who does these things. On this account, then, I have written to beg you to hasten to me and to cure me of the suffering which I have. For I have heard also that the Jews murmur against you, and wish to harm you. But I have a very small and venerable city which is enough for us both. Ananias was instructed to deliver Abgar's letter and to paint an image of the Lord. But due to the crowds surrounding Jesus, he was unable to portray him. After his preaching, Christ approached Ananias and promised to heal King Abgar. Exhausted from preaching, he wiped his face with a towel. On this towel was left his divine image, known by the church as the image not made by hands, also known as the image of Edessa, or simply the Mandylion. Impressed by the faith displayed in Abgar's letter, Christ sent Ananias back to Edessa with the image and a letter in response, either written by Christ's own hand or dictated to Ananias. Eusebius includes Christ's letter as follows. Blessed are you who have believed, although you have not seen me. For it is written concerning me that those who have seen me will not believe in me, and that those who have not seen me will themselves believe and shall be saved. But, regarding what you wrote me, to come to you, I must fulfill all things for which I was sent, and after thus fulfilling them, be taken up to him who sent me. And when I have been taken up, I shall send you one of my disciples to heal your suffering, and to give life to you and those with you. Having received this image, Abgar adorned it and placed it over the gates of the city, where, for many years, it was venerated by those who passed through. After the ascension of Christ, St. Thomas sent Thaddeus, also known as St. Addai, one of the 70 apostles, to Edessa. There, in fulfillment of Christ's promise, St. Addai healed Abgar and baptized him in the true faith. The historian Moses of Chorene reports the following about Abgar's conversion. Abgar was baptized, and all the town with him, and the temples of the false gods were closed, and all the statues of idols that were placed on the altars and columns were hidden by being covered with reeds. Abgar did not compel anyone to embrace the faith, yet from day to day the number of the believers was multiplied. But the story doesn't end there. The aforementioned historian, in the same work, mentions that Abgar wrote to Roman Emperor Tiberius concerning Christ. Abgar's initial letter was as follows: Abgar, king of Armenia, to my lord Tiberius, emperor of the Romans, greeting. I know that nothing is unknown to your majesty, but as your friend, I would make you better acquainted with the facts by writing. The Jews who dwell in the cantons of Palestine have crucified Jesus, Jesus without sin, Jesus after so many acts of kindness, so many wonders and miracles wrought for their good, even to the raising of the dead. Be assured that these are not the effects of the power of a simple mortal, but of God. During the time that they were crucifying him, the sun was darkened, the earth was moved, shaken. Jesus himself, 3 days afterwards, rose from the dead and appeared to many. Now, everywhere, his name alone, invoked by his disciples, produces the greatest miracles. What has happened to myself is the most evident proof of it. Your august majesty knows henceforth what ought to be done in future with respect to the Jewish nation, which has committed this crime. Your majesty knows whether a command should not be published throughout the whole universe to worship Christ as the true God. Safety and health. Tiberius's reply read, Tiberius, emperor of the Romans, to Abgar, king of the Armenians, greeting. Your kind letter has been read to me, and I wish that thanks should be given to you from me. Though we have already heard several persons relate these facts, Pilate has officially informed us of the miracles of Jesus. He has certified to us that after his resurrection from the dead, he was acknowledged by many to be God. Therefore, I myself also wished to do what you propose. But, as it is the custom of the Romans not to admit a God merely by the command of the sovereign, but only when the admission has been discussed and examined in full Senate, I proposed the affair to the Senate, and they rejected it with contempt, doubtless because it had not been considered by them first. But we have commanded all those whom Jesus suits to receive him among the gods. We have threatened with death anyone who shall speak evil of the Christians. As to the Jewish nation, which has dared to crucify Jesus, who, as I hear, far from deserving the cross and death, was worthy of honor, worthy of the adoration of men, when I am free from the war with rebellious Spain, I will examine into the matter, and will treat the Jews as they deserve. It should be noted that, although he was sympathetic to Christ and the early Christians, Tiberius was not himself a Christian. Rather than acknowledge him as God of gods, Tiberius evidently proposed that he merely be acknowledged as one among the gods. This is consistent with Roman paganism, which had a habit of incorporating foreign gods into their vast pantheon. Recall that the early Christians were persecuted not merely for worshiping Christ, but rather for refusing to worship the emperors and the pagan gods alongside Christ. Nevertheless, Tiberius apparently proposed to the Senate that Jesus be incorporated into the Roman pantheon. Interestingly, Eusebius offers independent confirmation of this event in his Church History, Book 2, Chapter 2. According to Eusebius, Pontius Pilate informed Tiberius of the reports concerning Jesus and his resurrection from the dead, after which the matter was referred to the Senate and rejected by them. Nevertheless, Tiberius was not himself hostile to the early church, a fact that Eusebius considered providential. Furthermore, we know from church tradition that, around this time, St. Mary Magdalene was preaching the resurrection of Christ in Italy. She even had an encounter with Emperor Tiberius himself, where, in his presence, she miraculously turned a white egg red. Following this miracle, she told the emperor that in his province of Judea, the innocent Jesus had been executed at the instigation of the Jews, and the sentence confirmed by Pilate. It's safe to assume she made an impression on him, because she wasn't harmed in any way, and Pilate was later recalled back to Rome. What happened to the image not made by hands? Years later, when the city lapsed back into idolatry, the holy image was concealed. But in AD 545, Edessa was besieged by the Persians with no hope of rescue. In a vision to the bishop of Edessa, the Theotokos informed him of the whereabouts of the image. She instructed him to find it and process around the walls of the city with it. As a result, the city was miraculously saved. In AD 944, the Emperor Constantine Porphyrogenitus commanded that it be brought to Constantinople, where it was kept in the Church of the Virgin of the Pharos. On a side note, this was a chapel built in the southern part of the Great Palace of Constantinople, which housed one of the most important collections of relics in the city and functioned as a chapel for the emperors. The translation of this image from Edessa to Constantinople is remembered by the Church on August 16th. This holy image played an important role during the iconoclast controversy. St. John of Damascus referenced it in his defense of the holy icons. After all, this makes sense considering it was perhaps the first icon of Christ. Unfortunately, the original image was lost when the Crusaders sacked Constantinople in 1204. Later on, the image was used as an emblem of the Russian armies, defending them from the enemy. To this day, icons of the Mandylion can be found in many churches. Regarding Abgar, Wikipedia claims that he is a saint of the church, venerated on May 11th and October 28th. However, I was unable to verify whether or not he is really a saint of the church, or if this is just fake news. Nevertheless, the remarkable story of King Abgar V demonstrates that Christian kingship, far from being a later aberration in the life of the New Testament church, was an early phenomenon of great importance. If you weren't previously aware of this beautiful story, I hope you've learned something new here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe, and share this video with anyone you know who might be interested in this content. With that, I'll see you guys next time.